review, and in this indie comic review I am covering a comic that is titled Ninja Funk, and I must admit this is a very interesting story. As you can see before you, I happen to have 2 issues before me, the first 2 issues that is, and of course I've got a rating for both covers. So first things first, do these covers in way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside the story? Not a lot in its own way. So for the first cover, which is on the left-hand side, we of course see something cat related and one of the characters that make an appearance in it. And we learn that this character's name is called McFly. And of course, when I heard, I thought, I wonder how they managed to get that into here. Plus some other references. And of course, last but not least, the next issue, to which we see the somewhat dead-looking kangaroo, plus a woman in the picture. We don't know. I think that character is called BB, and to meet her too. So for the first cover, I gave a 7 out of 10, and for the second cover, I also gave a 7 out of 10. So moving into the internal art of the first one, as well as something that's, as well as looking as to what's happening inside story-wise. And yes, we get a lot of blood and gore and other things as well happening in it. And we encounter some of the characters, such as JPG, Laser Wolf, the Wolf Gang, and last but not least, the character known as McFly. The story continues, and I must admit, this is one crazy story. But as crazy as it is, there is some interesting art and detail in this. Of course, one of the shops that they go to, and one of the things that you sort of learn about is that in this world, they're looking to somewhat bring a bit of a harmony. And one group that's out there is actually known as Ninja Funk, and I think it's either the first issue or the second issue, you learn that there is a Ninja Funk dojo. So it centers a lot around the idea, I guess, of musical tunes being used to play a part in saving this particular universe. Now, as we start to move into the second part, we meet somewhat one of the villains. We don't really get the villain's name, which is a slight disappointment. We, of course, come back to the character known as, I think it's Laser Wolf, and they're members of the Wolf Gang, including the character known as McFly. Story continues. And, of course, we catch up with the character of McFly once again. I will say one thing, though. One good thing I really liked about these issues is that there were zip, zero, nada ads. None at all. Only ads that were in this were basically ads in relation to, say, Comics Connected, to this particular group, and also the upcoming comic connected to this story. I really did like that about the story. So for the area of art for both of them, I gave a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the story and how it's rated. First area that is being covered in this is time. So we get 22 hours past the red line, which almost sounds like a bit of a deadline, which seems to indicate that these characters do have a bit of a time period or scheduled time period to complete some work. Some of the locations that we got to learn about in this were was a place called BAD Music, which we had Paradise Park. And we do actually learn in the second issue that a lot of this actually takes place on Earth. And we also had the Ninja Funk Dojo. The cast of characters consisting of the Wolfgang, Laser Wolf. We also had BB, McFly, Skrillex. We also learned that they're also in this world is that they're little gods. I'm not saying big, but little gods that consist of like certain harmonies, such as the treble, the bass. List continues. I think there's an overall of about, I think it's 6 to 7 in those gods of harmony. But for the overall story rating, I gave this a 7 out of 10. If you feel that you'd be interested in checking it out, definitely go ahead and check it out. Until then, let's keep it colorful and have yourself an awesome day.